That Rain-Kissed Umbrella, Chapter 11. A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Eleanor Rose. If you have not heard the previous 10 parts of this story, you can find a link to them in the description box below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment to show support and to help the YouTube algorithm. If you don't know what to comment, type in Master Fu! To show that you listened to the opening intro. Now then, on to Chapter 11. Adrien found himself frustrated at his best friend, although he understood why Nino said what he did. "She's not a cheater!" Adrien spat back, not confident in his argument. She pretended to be Ladybug the designer for months and hacked into Cat Noir's Twitter account, so he couldn't put plagiarism past her in terms of ethics. Except it didn't make sense. Chloe had too much talent for such a stunt. Was she trying to get Marinette in trouble as well? With all of the money to the bourgeois name, she was sure to get out of this unscathed. But a baker's daughter? The thought scared him, but this would be an effective method of getting Marinette out of the way. Chloe loved karma, and he had seen her pettiness firsthand. "Listen, dude, you know I was happy that you were happy, but I just never thought of the two of you as a good fit," Nino said, tossing a rag into the hamper. He could tell his friend was trying to comfort him, but all it did was piss him off. That's the woman he loved, after all, and the last thing any lover wanted to hear was that they weren't a good fit for their number one. "You just miss bro nights," he shot back, trying to steer the conversation in a direction that wouldn't lead to a fight. "I do miss bro nights," Nino agreed, his smile as wide as the blender he cleaned. They were getting ready to close, finally addressing what he'd avoided all day, his meeting with Chloe. "I'm the one who messed up," Adrien sighed. "You? Mr. Head over heels always overcompensating anything for my girlfriend. Messed up? I doubt that. Don't put me on a pedestal. I stand my ground with Chloe, as does she. It's part of a healthy relationship." "Uh-huh." Clearly he didn't believe him. Adrien scrubbed at a glass, his irritation emphasized with the squeaks of the sponge. "It was me, Nino." "I sincerely doubt that." "No, it was." "I sincerely doubt that, Adrien. That girl has a temper, and I kissed Marinette." Nino looked up, setting the blender down to make eye contact. He mulled over his words. "When you and Chloe were still together?" He flicked his eyes away, ashamed of his past self. "Yeah, well, on pause." "She put you guys on pause? Bro. She suspected I had feelings for Marinette, and..." He sucked in a breath. "Well, I went and did exactly something she was scared of." "Dude." His reply whistled out, hitting Adrien like a slap. "Chloe and I had a misunderstanding a while back, and without noticing it, I gave her an inferiority complex, I guess." "What did you do? Call Marinette pretty or something?" "No, Chloe only thought I started dating her because of one of her talents." Nino gave a dry laugh. "I don't think you could love anyone for just one thing." "It scared her. I scared her." The weight of the words sat on Adrien's shoulders. He'd failed to notice Chloe suffering by his side, even though looking back, it couldn't be clearer. He'd missed all the signs. And she learned I had feelings for Marinette in the past, and, well, it all just fell apart. Silence greeted his confession, echoed by Nino replacing clean dishes in the dishwasher with dirty ones.
You knew Marinette before?
He asked, his voice calm and controlled.
Yes.
Adrien swallowed, knowing what reaction he'd get.
She was Umbrella Girl.
Umbrella Girl? Nino all but dropped a plate in, causing the dishes to clatter in their racks.
Like fencing tournaments, Umbrella Girl?
Yeah.
Dude.
I didn't realize until after Marinette became a regular and started hanging out.
Dude.
Clearly Nino was hung up on Marinette being the Umbrella Girl from high school.
Chloe was right about having female friends,
Adrien sighed, taking off his apron.
There's just no way to make it work when you're in a relationship. I don't know if that's healthy, bro. Just because a friend's a girl doesn't mean you cheat on your partner.
Apparently it does, he murmured, mostly to himself. Nino turned his back to run some cleaning detergent through the blender, clearly unable to hear his argument. They didn't exchange words for the rest of their cleanup, filling the space between them with some American brand Nino wanted to use in his next playlist.
You head out first. I'll lock up,
Adrien offered, watching Nino dump out the mop water.
Hey, thanks, man,
Nino said, grabbing his backpack. He opened the door to leave and hesitated, looking back at him.
You should grab your jacket. It's getting chilly out.
Adrien looked out the window. It was already the end of October, and the days were getting windswept and cold as the leaves turned from burning fire to crunchy brown on the streets. He'd met Marinette at the beginning of summer. Or was it spring? How strange. It felt like so much time had passed since she first helped the door chime ring, and yet none had it all at the same time. That very same door chime rattled him back into present thought. Nino was gone, and in his place stood an older gentleman.
I'm sorry, sir,
Adrien began, flipping to his customer service voice,
but we're not. Could you spare a cup of tea?
Mr. Fu. His smile turned genuine as he recognized the customer.
How is Plag? He asked. I haven't seen him in a while.
Plag is as Plag does, Mr. Fu said, pulling a bill out of his wallet.
You're not wearing your jacket, I see.
Adrien felt a flush creep up his neck.
My ex has it.
He nearly said girlfriend, but perhaps it was time to start using that term to describe her. But then again, after this morning, the spark was still there. He saw her trying to cool the flames, trying to not reach out to him for warmth. Maybe he could still fan her in his favor.
That's unfortunate. It has the stitching of a soulmate.
Excuse me?
Staple wardrobe items you can trust are hard to come by.
Adrien laughed, now understanding what he meant.
Here's your usual,
he said, handing him a cup. In truth, he'd brewed it for himself to take home, but this worked out well.
On the house.
Mr. Fu laughed at the wink that accompanied his drink, but didn't protest.
I'm sorry to hear about your girlfriend. She seemed quite strong.
Yeah, she was, Adrien said, holding the door open for him. The remark was another drop in a bucket that may as well be a well. He'd lost a great girl because he chased 2 rabbits without realizing he was the prey and not a hunter. What a fool. Adrien followed Mr. Fu onto the windswept street, not quite able to enjoy the breeze it offered him. He knew where his feet wanted to take him, but he couldn't go there anymore. Chloe wasn't an option to go home to. He passed the bakery, hesitating a moment when he looked through its glass panels. He wanted to talk to Marinette, but knew better. Adrien turned away with a sigh, pulling out his phone. At the end of the day, he had one friend in his life who he could talk to openly without them knowing what a mess of a person he was.
"What's new?"
he typed. "I've got a lot going on, actually," Ladybug buzzed back.
"A new project?"
"Copyright problems, actually." He raised his eyebrows in surprise. If he didn't know better, he'd believe it was Chloe on the other end. Whoever this online friend of his was, she sure held a pattern to his girlfriend. To his ex-girlfriend. He had to correct himself, however hard it may be. A horn beeped as he pressed his fingers to the screen, stopping him in his tracks. He looked up, heart pounding as a cyclist cussed him out as he whizzed by. Oops. He also hated people on their phones when they went through crosswalks, and now he was a hypocrite. Maybe it was the world telling him he needed to take some time to himself, even if it was just for the walk home. He put his earbuds in and slipped the phone into his front pocket, looking both ways before he attempted to cross the street for a second time. It was time for a nap, or maybe something stronger than that. Thank you so much for listening. Chapter 12 is on its way. In the meantime, you can check out more Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction by checking out other videos on this channel. If you've made it this far and you haven't left a comment, then type in "listen, dude," just to show your support of Nino being there for Adrien. Anyway, I will catch you in the next one, and thank you so much for your comments and helping the YouTube algorithm. Bye!